What questions might you assign a co-manager
Good
to?
morning, Sean. I
Good
have a
morning.
question.
Yes, please.
How are you this morning? That's my
Outstanding.
my first question. Awesome. Okay. So, I am doing another live this morning with one of the leaders from Canada that we did one, what was it, Wednesday morning, but we had a little malfunction, a little technical malfunction, but we never noticed. So it only was like 7 minutes when we actually spoke for 35.
Okay.
So we should switch it up a little bit, but this is going to be take two. So I want to ask you, if you were listening, what would you want to hear? What would move you to either want to join the business or want to save on your travel? What would move you, or what do you think would move other people?
Stories. Stories that the listener can say, I want some of that. That's the only thing that moves people. Facts don't move people. If facts move people, 80% of the population would be skinny because they can go Google facts. They can't Google stories. They can Google YouTube, which is why YouTube is so popular. YouTube is the second most used search engine on the planet. Third is Pinterest. So I would tell stories. I would use testimonials. I would tell testimonials of what people have done. And because all a presentation is for somebody to say, okay, tell me more. You can't tell them everything they need to be. You have to be so general in a particular niche around travel that somebody got a better discount. They got an upgrade. They got whatever it is that happens in your with us being associated with your travel. It's got to be a story, and the story has to be worth more than the price of admission. Right. So when I talk to people, when I teach people, I ask them, so what's your biggest package? $1,000. You have to have a $4,000 story. What's the $4,000 story, $5,000 story that people get the benefit from using your product? $1,000 is easy to offset $1,000. To offset $100, it's $100. The reason more people don't have more success in their business is they're not telling a story that's worth the amount of the enrollment. I used to have, when I first started in network marketing, it was $10,000. So I used to have a $100,000 story.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's easier to sell something that's more than less.
Yep.
Why
So
is that?
then you have to sell why it's so cost effective. And that's based upon that's easy to say. It's based upon volume. It's based upon leverage. Right? If I got 100 people buying it or 1,000 people enrolling, right? You posted something not too long ago, 15,000 ambassadors. So there's 15,000 people at least advancing in rank. That means they're serving people. That's why the company does so well, is it has tremendous leverage and can offer you buying power a lot better than most people can.
Yeah, it was 15,000 in 10 days because we were running a promotion.
Yep.
So you can see, yes, that is very true. Okay. So if you were telling a story, um,
So if depending upon the audience, and if audience is
the
skeptical,
audience of people on my Facebook.
okay, so if the audience is skeptical, I would say, do you think 15,000 people could be wrong? Do you think 15,000 people, as it relates to travel, do you think if they weren't having good experiences, they'd say something? We had 15,000 people in 10 days say yes, get started, and move and advance in rank because they were having so much fun. The next few minutes we're going to talk about is going to tell you why they're excited about what's going on.
Sounds amazing. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
The other person you're doing the business with, are they an ambassador yet?
the person that I'm doing the live with is a leader out of Canada. Yes, she actually opened up Canada 4 months ago.
Okay.
She's been in the space. Well, what I heard her share, she's built several multi-million-dollar businesses in 3 product companies.
Okay.
Yeah. But so travel is the first time. I actually met her when I went to our pre-launch in Las Vegas. Very nice girl.
So who's the head presenter, if there is one? But I know you're both doing it in concert.
Yeah,
But who?
well, okay. So the way we did it last time was interview style. That I asked her questions, why this company, why now? And then she started talking, and she's very good. Um, and I think the 7 minutes is still up. If you have time to look at it, you could tell me what you think about her. She is very authentic when she speaks, and she's very
Awesome.
beautiful.
So
But
the so it really comes down to, where was she before she got in the business, right? She's built multi-million dollar businesses. What was it that got her involved, that wanted her to get involved in this style of business model? Would be a
I think she did talk about that.
okay.
I
And
think she
then
felt that there's a shift, and I hear a lot of leaders say that there's a shift that
there's been a shift for 30 years. So
well,
it's I
well,
get it.
with the product, with you, well, I mean, a lot of product companies have shut down in the last
Yes,
that hasn't really happened so much that big companies shut down, like Modere, and I
right.
mean that's what they usually say to lead in why they shifted, or that they
Well,
wanted to
so
travel.
here
Like in her case, she actually, yes, she told a story about that her husband and her wanted to go to Italy for the 10th wedding anniversary. I think she has she has 3 small boys. And oh, yeah, she was sharing that story in regards to our AI planner, that it became so overwhelming for her to plan this that they didn't end up going because she just couldn't manage to plan it.
right.
She also has been afraid for years to get on a plane. So there's many things. I know she was on stage in Las Vegas that she shared, but yes, she shared that story about how people like she couldn't, because I was sharing how it took me days and hours to curate my trip for my daughter and me when my daughter graduated from university and wanted uh, her graduation gift to be a trip to Greece, and how long it took me, and how you know because we went so many
So
different places.
I would talk about the curation of it being simpler. I wouldn't
Yeah,
go into all of the other detail about graduation, or I would just make it
but
because,
doesn't it make you human? I
well,
mean,
it makes you
if
human,
people
but I
can
don't
relate to,
I can't relate to your daughter graduating. I don't have a daughter.
well, you have a son that will be
Yeah,
graduating.
but my point is that if I'm an audience member and I'm looking for an excuse, the only thing that's going to keep me plugged in is saying, "Ooh, I'm like that. I have that." So I would say I have a child who graduated and they wanted to go overseas. But
Yeah, well, she
sometimes
was,
you can get too much detail, that you bore people with the detail, and they're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that's nice for your daughter. That's awesome. I can't send my kid overseas. I can't send my kid to Greece. I'll be lucky to be able to send my kid to Oklahoma." Right? That's
yeah,
what.
but with this business, they would save. It's not just how fast you can curate it, but also how much you can save to
Sure,
be able to
but
do that.
keep it generalized. If somebody wants to ask the particulars, then you can answer that question if they ask that in the chat or whatever. There's Q&A, but keep it general. Keep it where somebody go, oh yeah, I have a kid. Yeah, my kid doesn't want to go to Greece. If there's a moment in any of the conversation where somebody goes, yeah, but I don't want to do that, you've lost them.
Well, she was telling the story about
It
Italy.
doesn't matter. I don't
Same
care who's
thing.
telling the story.
Well, I mean, would that be the same? I mean, you could tell anything, just like you telling the story that you live on a farm. Most of us can relate to that. Does that mean we're gonna discard you? No,
No, what most people think is farmers are stupid.
well, that's terrible.
No, it's true though. You grew up on a farm. You got to be a little slow, right? If you grow, nobody sees people as a international public speaker, 6-time best-selling author, as a farmer. It's a rare thing. So it's novelty. I get to have novelty when I talk about being on a farm, being on a ranch. Now, living on a ranch now, people are like, oh my God, you live on your own ranch. You got 30 acres. Okay. So you've done something well. They're not giving away land. So there's edification in there and there's recognition in there that I can say I've done well without going, hey, I've done well. I own my own ranch. So it's these little stories. It's the way you tell the story. But you can do it your way. That's awesome.
No,
Let me know how it
I
works.
mean, I always want your input. That's why I was asking. I just like to,
Well, yeah.
I guess
If it's input, that's
give
great.
more,
If you
give
want to get better
more.
sales, then you might want to make it actionable.
Well, I like to share details. I guess
That's too much.
that's
It's
too
too
much.
much too soon. And not until somebody's ready to go use the plan do they need more details. What's the first thing somebody needs to know in any business? What's the first thing somebody needs to know?
That it works.
No, they don't
No.
care. How do they know it works?
Well, then you
What's going to
tell
be
me.
proof to them to know it works? This is for all of you. What's going to be proof for the person who's about to join your business for them to know it works?
To try it out. I
To get
guess
their
I.
money back.
Oh, well, okay. So
How do
we
they get
should
their money
address
back?
that. They get their money back immediately.
Well, how?
We give them loyalty points for what they put in.
Okay, so how does that work?
It works 1-to-1.
Okay,
Uh,
so I got to
so-
buy it to get it back. So the question isn't loyalty points. It's as they travel, they can get their fees back. They can get rewarded for taking beautiful travel.
um,
Yes, no, that's what I
I
heard.
guess well,
But
they get their loyalty
that's
points
the
in.
thing you've got to
They
present,
don't get rewarded to take the travel. They get rewarded so they can take the travel. Loyalty points you get for it's not an empty membership.
okay?
Like you know what that means?
I think so. But if I don't know, I'm sure a lot of people don't know.
Okay, that's why I was asking, because we say it's not an empty membership. Like your gym membership is an empty membership. You have to go to the gym to get value, right?
right?
You have to use, but with this, you immediately pay $120 a month, and you immediately get 120 loyalty points in your travel bank. It's like a savings bank. So that's 1-to-1. You
So
get
then
100.
I wouldn't say an empty membership. I would say I wouldn't use the term empty membership. Because now you're comparing if I have a gym membership, which a lot of people may have,
Right.
you just embarrassed me. Psychologically. We said that's bad. If I'm using it, then that means I'm bad. I know that's not the intention. You have to understand the psychology. So rather than it being an empty membership, you can say our membership is an active living membership. You get rewarded every month simply by having the membership. Unlike a gym membership where you got to go and use it, right? January's coming up. A lot of people are going to join the gym and they won't make it to month 3, but they're going to pay the rest of the year. Our program rewards you month after month after month. So that's a positive sell versus when somebody goes, oh my gosh, yeah, no, that's much better than my gym membership. But if you say my gym membership, I don't get any value from it, I can argue that. Oh, well, it makes me feel good that I have it. and I don't want to have an argument with my prospects. How do I
Well,
convert it?
okay. Because yeah, I guess the way we see it is
Yeah, but
you
that's
don't
your
have to
nomenclature.
use it. You
You
don't have
understand it. Totally understand. I totally understand the description of it.
to.
It's limiting your success because anybody who has a gym membership and says, "Oh, so yours is better than mine," now you're done. And this is all happening on the other side of a screen where they can be vocal with their opinions because they're not standing in front of an audience. So that's my suggestion. I wouldn't call it an empty membership.
Okay.
And then compare it to other things that people have that they understand. The challenge is that if you say my membership is empty, I'm going to defend it because now you're inducing shame into the conversation.
Oh my
Well,
goodness, that's not good.
no, it's not. And again, I'm just throwing out ideas. She's successful, built $1 million businesses, and if it's working, it's working. I can promise you'd get a lot more people if you didn't shame them.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think any of us want to be any of us want to be shamed. No, I mean, yeah, it's good you see it that way.
Yeah,
Wow, that
it's just language.
yes, yes.
I understand the value of it being empty. I totally understand that. I understand that yours is not an empty. Yours is a month after month, fill up, add value, add value, add value membership. The key is don't make what I have, which is a very easy comparison and a very possible. There's a huge possibility that I might have an empty membership, right?
I do.
Yeah, Netflix is an empty member. Anything I pay monthly is empty because it doesn't bring me value. It's a cost. It's not a profit center.
So, more putting it more like it's a savings account.
Yeah, it's listen, one of the things that our founders have found, our founders wanted to make sure is that for every penny that you put into the program, you get some value back. Listen, I got a Netflix membership. I love it. And they raise the price every year. And if I don't watch Netflix this month, they're not sending me there's no value. I don't get any value back. Now, if I get to go binge watch my favorite show for 9 hours, well, I kind of get my value. What we figured out is that at some point people want to travel. Some point people want to be able to say, I'm ready to go on my trip. And then they got to come up with all of the value. Well, one of the things we found is that time, month after month, time after time, our commitment to you is as long as you're committed to us, is we're going to give you dollar for dollar value called loyalty points. So that when you're ready to take your dream trip or ready to take your trip, your unexpected trip, you've got some value already booked.
Yeah. Or you
So,
can save it for 12 months and take
yeah,
a free trip. So
yeah,
yes, that's for that. Yes.
yep.
And when you do book, like you were saying, you get rewards credits
Yep.
as well. And then you can use them as well. So yes, there's a lot of value in the membership.
And so I would tell some stories. I would say I would go over the 3 or 4 points of here's some of the things we're going to talk about, right? Tell in public speaking, tell them what you're going to tell them, tell them what you told them. So there's only how long is the conversation? Half hour? Supposed to be.
Yeah. Yes, yes.
Yeah, there's only 4 or 5 things you can cover in that point.
And she also played some short videos.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, we did an amazing job, and then we found out it had somehow turned off.
That again, it just means great practice, great stuff.
It was a technological malfunction. Yeah, but I
Sure.
mean, that can happen. She felt very
Absolutely.
bad. She apologized because it was her StreamYard.
Yep.
Uh,
Awesome. We
yes,
get to do it again. That's awesome.
we get to do it again this morning, 8 o'clock.
Love it.
8 o'clock my time, Pacific Standard Time. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome, welcome, welcome. Who else? How can I help you grow your business? What can I do? What talent, skill, resource? Ask me anything. What can I do to help you grow? What's the story that you think if you learned the story well, It would change your business forever. What's that story? How do you get people to say, I want some of that? I want some of that, right? Joseph McClendon III. I want some of that. Did you know there's telemedicine, teledocs for televets for pets? Figured that out this morning. It's kind of cool. Got to have your dog ready for the Zoom, though. I don't know how Dubby's going to. We'll have to do that on the phone. Dubby, get back here. Okay. No other questions, comments, thoughts? If Jim Rohn was here, he'd say that's a clue. What's going on in your business? What do you need a little help with, a little nudge with, a little shoulder nudge? Going once? Going twice? Don't be fearful to ask, because if you're fearful here, there's probably a little bit bigger fear.
Hey, Sean,
Hey, Jane.
how are you?
Outstanding.
Fantastic. I'm running into when I just want to get to know people,
Sure.
and then I ask them if they're interested in travel, they shut me down right away.
Yep.
How can I encourage them or entice them to want to talk to me more about it?
Awesome. So, what's their favorite trip?
That's what I've asked them, and that's when they kind of shut me down.
Okay. So, so when you're getting to know them, how does the conversation open? Who's the audience? Is it a cold audience? Are you on a bus? Where are they?
It's more on through LinkedIn that I mate with them, and I mean many of them, if they're pharmacists, oh hi, how are you? I too am a pharmacist, so I show that we have some kind of similarity, and then I ask them. Then as we progress through there, I ask them. I said, "Do you like to travel?" Some will say yes, and some will say no. Many will say no. They say, I'm done with traveling. I'm too old. And I keep saying nobody's too old. But they don't, I can't seem to entice them to want to talk more about what their desires are in traveling.
Right. Well, so if you're speaking to pharmacists, what kind of personality would you say pharmacists are? Are they by the seat of their pants, or are they more focused and everything is organized?
I wouldn't say that, but I would say that we're more introverted in many professions. Um, and
So is travel an introverted thought process or an extroverted thought process?
I would think of being extrovert.
So right there's why it gets shut down.
Well, how would I mean, some of these people I know personally, and I want to get them
I get it, but you
enthused.
got to remember, this is psychology. It has nothing to do with relationship.
Okay.
Right? There's some people I've loved for 20, 35 years. They could still say stuff that pisses me off. We've known each other for 35 years. They don't mean it. It's just psychology. So if you're talking about an extroverted activity to an introverted person, that makes them just freak out.
Well, it's not, and I made a mistake of saying pharmacists. Yes, majority of my friends are pharmacists, but there's a lot that's just involved in healthcare.
Okay,
And I
still
know
introverts.
how are nurses introvert?
Oh, they have you ever talked to nurses in a room by themselves? How they complain about everything and how they're the ones, the unsung heroes. They don't get any recognition. They don't get any of this stuff, yet they got to toe the line. Nurses is a beautiful personal a job of being able to do good for others, but it seems like it is a non uh it's not a real it's not a real, it's a great monetary income, but it is not a place to go get recognition to be a nurse.
So
Listen, I've never been a nurse, so
I should kind of steer clear of them.
yeah. Well, no, don't steer clear of them. Well, you've got to have a different conversation. And the conversation is what's the reward they're looking for? Right? A lot of times you get a weekend off. What would you do with a weekend off? Oh my God, I wouldn't know. So if they can't, because it's good money, right? Traveling nurses, those kinds of nurses, it's great money. Most of them wouldn't know what to do with the time off. Most of them, it's like, if I got a time, I'd sleep. So they're not going to want to travel. Question is that it's not about what do you think of travel, because travel to most people is TSA, it's long lines, it's the last trip they were on. Right? That's what travel is the last trip they were on. How many of you drop a D in the chat if the last trip you were on had a delayed flight on your last trip, if you flew? All right. So they can only think of, there's people, I don't care. Yeah, I don't care when the trip was. If the last time you traveled, there was a delayed flight so most people, when you think about talking about travel, they can only think about their last travel or the travel they've been on. And it's like, oh my gosh, what's that say? Yeah. So you see what is just in this audience of what people think about of traveling. So we're talking about the good stuff, right? Remember, tell me where you're going, not tell me where you've been. When you ask them where you going, the only thing they can respond with is where I've been. And that's why you get shut down, because their experiences are less than perfect.
Some of these people, some of the way the conversation goes, many times I'll ask them, think big, and where would you like to travel in the world, or even in the United States, if they're United States in
Right.
your local, and so, some of them say, many of them say, oh, I'm just done with traveling.
Yep. Because so they're not done with traveling, they're done with the conversation. They're not done with travel. They know that if they say, well, I don't travel anymore, what do you have to talk about? You got nothing else to talk about. If all you're asking me is about travel, and I go, I don't travel. Oh, okay. So you're asking people to think. That's the problem with travel. You are literally asking people to think. If you're talking about a wellness product, you're asking people to think. We are forcing people into a thinking process, and 98% of the population do not want to think. 1% think, 2% think they think, the other 97% would rather die than think. It's a number I made up. But based upon my 50 plus years of working with people, that's kind of the rule. So when we talk about travel is something that is, it's not a typical conversation. Why is that? When you were doing your pharmacy work for the last 40 years, however many years you were in some pharmacy somewhere, of the general conversation, how often did travel come up? Once a day, once a week, once a month?
Well, it depended on who I was talking to, of
Sure, it
course.
depended upon whether they were going on a trip or not.
Yeah.
Most people's vacation, they travel.
So how do I talk to them so that they might, for that one trip, one annual trip that they count, how might I get them enticed to want to even just look at my video?
Sure. So the question is, so I might ask people, I'm usually, when I would do cold calling, if you've ever done cold calling and bought a list, right? You buy 500 names for $500 because these are qualified leads. They've only been called once. And so I wouldn't call them right away because I know 10 other people are calling them. They're resold. And so they would answer the phone. I'd say, am I the first call or the 50th call you've gotten about somebody wanting to talk to you about an opportunity? You're like the 50th. Have you found something? Or are you still curious? Because I'm okay either way. I just know that if you get 50 phone calls, you're probably just ticked off every time the phone rings now. My question is are you still looking? Right? So I would do kind of the opposite of what was traditional. Call them right away and get them excited and get them out, right? So what I might say in travel is, hey, I'm curious. I was talking to a couple of friends of mine, right? It's got to be always a third party. When you're talking about things like travel, things like wellness, you can't be the expert. You are not a travel expert. You have a company that makes you a travel expert, but nobody sees you. If you're a pharmacist, you are not a travel expert. You don't know anything about the travel industry in their mind, right? So if they don't see you as that, the second you ask them about travel, it's like, what the hell are you asking me about travel for? You're a pharmacist. So I might say something like, as a pharmacist, we hear some pretty crazy stories behind the counter, don't we? I'm curious. What's one of your crazy travel trips? Do you remember one of your crazy travel trips that I don't know if it went well or went horribly wrong? I was talking to somebody the other day and they were delayed for 20 hours. What's your kind of scary horror travel story? You got one? Oh, let me tell you about it. Now we're talking about travel. Well, why would I want to go negative? Because how many of you have a negative travel experience? And this is for everybody. If you've ever had a negative travel experience, drop it in the chat. Which positive is the way it's supposed to go, right? When somebody uses a prescription and they use the prescription and it does what it's supposed to do, nobody's going, "Oh my God, it worked. It did what it's supposed to do." But if it doesn't do, oh my gosh, I took my medicine and I had an allergy. I had an allergic reaction with my flenbendazole and my blah, 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 blah. And I guess I didn't tell my doctor I was taking the blah, 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 blah. So if you're just talking to people to get them to talk about travel, to not get shut down, ask them what's one of your, I'm kind of doing a survey. I want to see who's got the craziest travel story. Oh, I don't know if that's going to work. I think it would work. I know it works when I have the conversation. But if you ask that question, then say, it's because of things like that I decided to use technology to curate some things to get better results. I don't know if you're curious about that. If you're curious about that, I'd love to share some info with you. Listen, I am not a travel expert. But the second you say, so what do you think of travel? I'm like, oh, you're going to sell me something on travel. That's just how society's been wired. So what's your wellness protocol? Oh, you're going to sell me some wellness pills. Yeah, whatever. No, I'm happy with where my sickness. Oh, okay. It's people want to talk about something and very few people want to talk about good things. So give them a chance to say, what's your scariest, what's the travel story you wouldn't want to repeat?
I get them to give me that. Then how do I reverse that to make it more positive so they want to join in or want to travel more?
Excellent. So, hey, if all your future travel was like that, would you be excited about traveling? Hell no. If your future travel wasn't like that, would you be excited about traveling? Would you travel more? Yeah. Maybe I doubt it's for you, right? The takeaway, I doubt it's for you. Well, don't tell me it's not for me. What's not for me, right? That's what you get in the brain. How long is a video?
Maybe 7 minutes. They keep
If
them short for us.
so, if a 7-minute video could give you some warm, fuzzy feelings about traveling again, would you watch it? That's all. Not asking you to spend a dime, not asking you to join anything. Just curious if if you think travel's in your future and you'd rather a better experience than some of that story you shared with me, 7 minutes could make the difference. Would it be worth 7 minutes to find out if you could avoid some disasters in the travel world?
Okay.
The biggest thing, the way to get the biggest audience is to put out stories in your world on LinkedIn on travel savings, corporate travel savings. If your company travels and you could lower your travel expense by 20%, what would that do to your bottom line? Because that's LinkedIn, right? Travel is one of those things. There's people doing it. It's a $7 trillion industry. Everybody is traveling. Everybody, $7 trillion is spent in travel. Who wouldn't want to save an average of 20% a year? Now you've got to level up your conversation. You're not selling a membership. You're giving profit back to a company. If your company could benefit by 20% more based upon your travel expenses, if you could put 20% of your travel expenses back to your bottom line, what would that do to your company's overall year-end profit? You got to have a different conversation. You're not selling memberships. You're selling corporate savings. If you're on LinkedIn, that'd be the conversation I'd have. If you pay for travel out of your own pocket, what would a 20% raise do for you? You've got to understand your audience. People don't buy memberships on LinkedIn. They do, but they're all business people. They're all professionals. And as soon as you say, "What's your thing about this?" They're like, "Oh, yeah." So, hey, listen, if you plan on traveling, would you like to pay full price or 20% less? Upwards of maybe 50% less. If somebody found that discount code for your travel, would you want them to share it with you? That's what I have. I got to save 20 to 50% on your next travel. On average.
You've given me some great ideas. I'll have to work on those so I can.
The key is that on LinkedIn, they don't care about travel. They care about savings. Oh, Dub, is your ear itch? We got an appointment for you. Yeah. Oh, what do you think about travel? That's not the place for it. Pinterest, maybe. Different psychology. But LinkedIn, it's about the professional side of business, and it's about how to save money. What's the professional side to your business? Travel at first class travel at coach prices.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
First class travel at coach pricing. Wholesale travel, wholesale retail experience on a wholesale price. You've got to upgrade your language. You're not selling network marketing on LinkedIn, although a lot of people, network marketers, are on LinkedIn. It's just the level of language. I would ask people, listen, in all of your years of travel, if today somebody stroked you a check for 20% back for all of your travel, how much money would that be? If all of your years of travel, somebody looked at it, they added up all the numbers and said, we're going to give you a 20% rebate. How much would that be? For me, It'd be easy 100 grand. So in the next few years, would you like some of that money back, or would you like them to keep it?
You would like some of your money back or what?
Or let them keep it?
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, I
Clarify,
know,
qualify, create expectation. You're not
I
creating
know.
any expectation when you go, so what do you think? What do you think about travel?
Yeah. Well, I know a lot of healthcare workers complain about working all day, all the time and never having
Yeah, but
time
that's because
for themselves.
they want to complain.
They want to complain.
Yep. And everybody they're around complains. So I'm not going to be different saying I love this work. I can promise you, take the job away from them. You say, listen, okay, you complain one more time, the job goes away. They'd stop complaining. Complaining is just a way of self-recognition. Nobody's recognizing me. That's the healthcare industry. Nobody gets a thank you. Nobody gets an attaboy, attagirl. So the only way they can complain is not I do a good job. Like, oh my God, I work so long. So do I. And now birds of a feather flock together and everybody's bitching. It's just psychology. When you break it down, it's just psychology. When you understand the psychology of a human being and you understand that's not who they are, that's who they become when they're in this environment. And when you
Maybe I
understand
should be,
go ahead.
maybe I should not be involved in, sporadically involved with LinkedIn, but more focusing on one of the other areas, other
LinkedIn is a
social
great
media.
place. LinkedIn is a great place. Talk about saving 20% on your travel.
Okay.
Your next trip, if you save 20% on it, would it buy you dinner? Yeah, we should talk.
Okay.
I use Priceline. I use this. I use whatever those travel things are. I use Canoe or whatever it is, Trivago. Awesome. Would you like to save 20% over them? You could do that? Yeah. The question is we've been around for, I don't know how long your company's been around. 12 years, 13 years, something.
Mhm.
We've been around for a while. We got this figured out. Do you want to save 20% on your next trip? Maybe. It could be less, could be more. But on average, it's about 20%, 20, 30% over all of the current travel companies that are out there. You got to get them to say, I want some of that. Oh, well, is it better than Trivago? 20 to 30% savings on whatever travel you can find out there. Oh, I can't believe that. Okay. Why can't you believe it? Well, I'd know about it. No, you wouldn't. This is a membership-based product. If you don't have a membership to Costco, can you see the deals they have inside there?
No.
So how do you know that Costco saves people? Why do you think Costco does 15 billion a year in sales or whatever it does? Because there's
I
good
would.
prices on the inside.
Okay.
You just got to hold your ground. LinkedIn, the rapport on LinkedIn is save money or put profit to my bottom line. They're business people. How do you put profit to my bottom line? Most of them are entrepreneurs or entrepreneurial. So how do you help me make money? Right? Everybody knows on LinkedIn, you got to spend money to make money. So how do you help me make money? Where can I put my dollar so that I get a better return? Right? We look at the stock market, 20% return over the last 20 years. This percent return, right? The Dow versus the S&P versus the this. Looking at return. The only way you get that return is to have put money in it, right?
Yeah.
Right? Gold has gone through the roof, $4,100. Well, the only way you make profit on it is to have gold. I could have bought gold when it was $400 an ounce. Could have, didn't, could have, should have. Now it's $4,000 now. But I can talk about the profit that was made, but I never got to see any of it. Why? Because I wasn't in the game. I wasn't on the field.
Okay. Well, you've given me a lot of thought, things to think about, and rewording my language.
Well, it's just being a little tougher. It's not being so. I don't want to say generic, but it's about speaking to the audience. If I was on Pinterest, I would be putting pictures of travels, locations, and discounts. Where it shows retail is $2,000. Through you, it's $650. I would be putting pictures up like that all over Pinterest, because Pinterest is also a search engine. The images stay there, and they stay based upon the link that you put in the bottom. And I'd be putting my website in there. But Pinterest is a great place for travel because it's visuals.
Because it's what?
Visuals.
Visuals.
Imagery. It's not about text, it's about the picture. So if you put
Is
up,
it hard? Is it hard to put, is it hard? I've never worked with Pinterest. Is it hard to use?
can you have you ever uploaded a picture, an image to your Facebook?
Yes.
Exactly the same.
Same. Okay.
Yep. Have you ever put a comment on your Facebook page?
Yes.
Exactly the same.
Okay.
Yep. Very simple. And it's the unsung hero Pinterest. But Facebook isn't searchable. Not for your imagery.
No.
I can't go search for your last post based upon the content you put in your post. It's not searchable that way. Pinterest is.
Okay.
So if you
I've
go to
just never
Pinterest,
done.
just go create an account and go Google travel and look. Oh my God, look at the stuff here on travel. You'll see a lot of stuff on travel because it's imagery. It's visual.
So that's sort of like Instagram in a way.
Kind of, but Instagram isn't searchable.
Right. Okay.
So LinkedIn is about putting profit to the bottom line. For those of you in travel, how do you make your travel expenses a profit center? That's all people are wondering. How do I turn it into a profit center? Well, other business owners know business owners, and if they wind up, what if you could save your competitor 20% on their travel, and you got paid for saving them money on travel? People who travel know people who travel. That's all. Love it, love it, love it.
Okay. Thank you so much. I
You bet.
appreciate it.
You bet. Good morning, Gigi.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Outstanding.
Great, great, great. Okay, so the other day I found myself getting really upset because
No.
I got very upset because I looked at my take home for the year
Yeah.
and it pissed me off because I'm like,
yes, I love it.
that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a great thing because now you know where you don't want to be.
Yeah. And it's just, I knew, but now it's just getting louder.
Yep.
And louder and louder and louder.
So how loud does it have to be till you make a decision?
That's a good question. How loud does it have to be?
How aggravated do you have to be right? You know the story, the joke about the salesman comes up to the farmer and the farmer's dog is on the porch going, oh, right?
Yeah.
Why is your dog howling? He's sitting on a tack. Why is he sitting on a tack? Oh, it's not painful enough to move.
Is it not painful enough?
No, not if you say, well, and again, it came in less than I wanted. I knew it, but I haven't done anything about it. Well, if you knew it, then you got the document. It's kind of like speeding, and you're like, I knew I was speeding, and now I got a ticket. You just got your ticket.
Mhm.
So what, let me ask you this. Do you believe you have skills and talents that are worth more than that dollar figure?
Yes.
Okay. Do you believe you have skills and talent, enough skills and talents to go find the place where your skills and talents could be valued more?
Yes.
Okay. So then the hell. It's the uncomfortableness of shifting, of changing.
Yes.
Now,
And
who
the
soon
uncomfortableness of
yeah, if you decide you're going to make the change, who's going to be upset? Who's going to be who's going to be jealous, and who's going to be concerned?
one of my parents will be concerned.
Okay.
So bad.
So
I don't know
you've got to
about
put the plan in place before you got to have your parachute on before you jump. A lot of people, when they get in this position, oh, I'm just going to quit. Well, where are you going to land? I don't know. Well, that's not good business. So I'd start investigating. When's the best time to get a next job? When's the best time to get a job? When you got a job.
Most people say when you already have one.
Yeah, exactly. So I'd start looking while you have one.
Another one.
What's that?
I said I don't want another job.
Well, start looking for it, and then that'll even add more pain to it for you to start doing your stuff.
I've been doing that, and I guess it's not painful enough.
Yeah, it's not painful enough, and you're not doing the other stuff enough of it.
Yeah,
to get the result.
but most of it is like the putting myself out there.
Yeah, well,
And
so what does it look like to put yourself out there?
showing up.
Yep.
Every day.
Yep. So you have a choice. Don't show up, be ticked off, or show up and be tired and know that you're working on your future. Simple. It's easy decision.
Easy decision.
You need accountability.
Yeah.
And the DIY method doesn't work. Or hasn't worked.
It's only got me so far. That's got me.
Yeah. So you got to ask yourself, what do I need to do? I got the skills, I got the talents, I got the capability, I got all of this stuff. Why aren't I doing it? Because of your story. Did you write out your goal this morning? No. Jim Rohn would say that's a clue. Do you have your goal clearly defined? Well, sort of. I know I know I don't want this. That's not, the universe doesn't do that. If somebody in the next hour was to say, tell me exactly what you want and we'll deliver it in the next 12 months. Exactly what you want. Could you give them exactly what you wanted in the next 12 months? I mean, down to the flavor, down to the smell, down to the experience, to the sheets you wake up on in the morning, to the shoes that you wear.
Not that detailed.
Then how the hell could the universe, do you have shoes on now?
I do have shoes.
Are they your most favorite shoes, the most comfortablest shoes? Are they the shoes you've always wanted? No, they're the shoes you said. These are the shoes you said, these are acceptable for this action. Don't deal with just getting by anymore. You gotta start putting you gotta give the universe desire to want to serve you. When do most people want to serve us? When we're broken. People like, well, they're doing great. How can I serve them? That's the thing y'all are going to find out. When you're doing amazing, people don't think they can serve you. because they're comparing your success to theirs and like, how could I serve them? You've been my friend for 20 years. What do you mean? How could you serve me? Be my friend. Yeah, but you're doing so amazing. How can I make you happy? By being my friend. So this is what the challenge with success is, that we have to be more caring. You know, there's people who do wildly well and they wind up with their entourage. And people tell you, your close friends will tell you, well, they're only around you for your money. No, they're not. They like me. Sorry, Charlie. You lose your money, they'll be like, I know I can't go out because I can't afford your dead ass on the check today. So you got to make a decision. And now's a good time to make the decision, starting with the 2026. Would you like 2026, November 14th of 2026, to get your income for the year and be telling me the same thing?
Say that again.
So it's November 2026, November 14th, 2026. It's a year from now. You're driving in your car and you're telling me, hey, Sean, I got my document that shows how much money I have. I'm excited or I'm pissed off. Do you want the same number?
Want to be excited.
Yeah. So then you got to do stuff that is different. And when do you think you should start that?
Yeah.
And that's a riggedy rag. Always makes sense talking to him, but it's pain in my ass.
That makes sense. But I don't want to say but. I find myself like, I know what to do.
But you don't. See, that's the biggest lie. If you knew what to do, you'd be doing it. You say you know, and when you say I know what to do, the mind literally says, oh, then we don't have to worry about that. And what do you wind up doing? Nothing. What I would encourage you to say is, I have some pretty cool ideas of what to do. I'm going to go test them and start testing them. But when what happens in the brain is when we say, I know that, how many presentations, how many trainers have you been to? How many events have you been to? When the trainer gets up and says, listen, I'm going to ask you to have an open mind, because most people are going to say, I know that. This is a Wallace D. Waddles moment. It's not about doing certain things. It's about doing those things in a certain way. So you know what to do. You've just got to do them in a different way, which is what you don't know what to do. But when you say, I know what to do, you're not open. Your mind psychologically is not open to trying it in a different way. I'd be curious to find out how this works. I'd start saying that. I got a pretty good idea what's going to work. I'd be curious to find out how that works. I know how to raise animals. I've raised cows. I've raised horses. I've raised pigs. These chickens are different chickens. I don't know. We didn't have free range chickens, but sheep, they got 4 legs. They eat at this end and they poop at that end. That's about the only thing that's the same with them and cows. They're tiny. I've never had animals I could pick up and carry full grown. So I can say, oh yeah, no, I know about sheep. I don't know nothing about sheep. And every day I learn something. But you grew up on a farm, you raised animals. Yeah. Sheep aren't the same. They're not the same. And my sheep compared to my buddy's sheep, Stacy's sheep, totally different sheep. Totally different sheep. So when I talk to him about Shetland, he goes, I don't know nothing about Shetland. I go, you've got 100 head of sheep. You've been doing it for 7 years. How do you not know about my sheep? They're different sheep. So that's what's going on here is, yes, you know YouTube, you've got an account. Yes, you know Instagram. Yes, you know this. The only thing that's different is now you got to get exposed. Now you got to put yourself out there. And what happens if you put yourself out there? Somebody could go, ooh, or they could go, yeah. And that's where the scary part is. That's what we get paid for. Be exposed. Be out there. Jim Rohn says, you want more income, bring more value. That's all. Bring more value. So how many more years do you want to wait?
I don't want to wait any.
Okay, so now you gotta make a decision, and then you gotta get your white hot burning desire saying enough is enough. I've had enough. And then you got to get to work doing what you know works and figuring out the rest of the way. That's it. It's not that hard.
It's over.
Not hard at all. It's not like I say, okay, have you used YouTube? No, I've heard about it. You've got all of the skills, you've got all of the talents. The challenge is you've now got to create the story of, are you ready for the love?
And this goes back to the second point I wanted to talk to you about.
Okay, what's that?
Okay, at my job, the people love me. Okay, I gotta, not even just to sound conceited or anything. I know
get
the
it.
people love me.
Yep.
And me, I don't see it as love. I see it as like they're annoying me and they're needy and they always need something from me. And like
And how's
yesterday,
that
they're
working for you?
working out well. Because A, it's making me frustrated to be there because now I'm like, I don't even want to be here even more because y'all always needed something from me. And then I got to stop what I'm doing to do something for you guys. And it's like, this is the 15th time I've done the same thing for you and you still don't understand it. So it's like all of that frustration is like just building up.
What a great way, what a great place to learn how to grow yourself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you do without asking any questions.
Mhm.
You could change that in 30 days. You could change everybody's habits. Ask them how when they ask you to do something, ask them, what's the result we're looking for? Start off there. What's the result we're looking for? You know, this isn't, how many times have you asked me to do this? If I came to you, how many times could I come to you to ask you to do the same thing?
I don't know how well that would work with the demographic of people that I'm working with.
So figure out a way to ask. So I figure out how to speak to the psychographic.
Mhm.
I love that I get to do this. Why'd you ask me?
Because they can depend on me and they rely on me.
Okay.
It's a generation of people who are like not technologically advanced.
Awesome. Would you like to learn how to do this so that I could continue to do my job better? Right, Debbie? Ask him. That's what I'd ask him. Yeah. So that's what I'd ask. How excited would you be? How excited would you be to be able to do this on your own? There's little questions like that.
Then it goes back to the for the love thing.
Right.
Semester, like it was their last day, and they like were telling me like thank you for everything. You've always been so helpful and how appreciative they were of me, and I was just like I couldn't I felt myself not receiving what they said.
Well, and that's
And
okay
I could
because
see
you're
and I
not
could sense that like I'm not receiving this.
right because you're not ready for the love. If whether it's a heartfelt thank you or a fake thank you, the fact that you could do it, the fact that they rely on you, you gotta fall in love with that. Because here's the thing, when you start doing your videos and you start doing your trainings and you want to have an online business, people are going to count on you. You show up here, you count on me for ideas, for thoughts, to see if I can't trigger something inside of you. You count on me. Been doing this for 6 years. You had some wonderful things happen in your life and you're back here a couple of days and awesome couple of weeks and you get to ask me questions. So if I was going to use your philosophy going, yeah, but Gigi, she wasn't here for 8 months. Why should I give her any of my time? She didn't like me then. Why does she like me now? Doesn't matter. You love me now. You're here. You've always loved me. I know that. Things get busy. Now you're asking me to do something. Awesome. How can I serve? Because my mission is to leave a legacy. Your mission is to leave a what? What's your legacy? This demographic, you've worked with this demographic. You may not work with this demographic for the next decade, maybe for the next 6 months till you find something that's more inside of your energy field, but you always get this experience. I'd use this experience. Everyone is a story. But if you go in there negative, I can pretty much guarantee you you're going to have a negative experience. Is there anybody else your age that they ask help from? No. So
Like,
how
even if I-
special? How
even if I'm
special are
not
you?
there, even if I'm not there, like they'll wait. They'll be like, "Oh, I'll come back when Gina comes back."
Yeah, exactly. So how special are you? Why wouldn't you think of yourself as super awesome?
That's the weird thing. I don't feel that.
You're their little,
Like,
you're their little slice of heaven. I gotta wait for my Gigi to come back. How cool is it to be needed? This is, are you ready for the love? I would fall in love that people want you. But I don't get my work done. Yeah, you do. Otherwise, you'd be fired. This is what going online is. There, you only got a handful of people. Online, you could have thousands of people who are reaching out and wanting more. So boundaries and falling in love with the fact that people want your service. What if that was, what if the people, every time they asked you something, you were getting paid $1,000 for a coaching session? That's what your online business could be. You'll be coaching them maybe on something different than the tech or the technology that you're doing. But what you're learning is that you have a given talent that people want more of. Now, can you turn that into a business? Imagine every time somebody asks you for help in the future, that'd be a $75 an hour coaching call. That wouldn't be bad. So I'd figure out how to turn that concept, how to turn that project of the skills and talents I have. They're asking me to use it. I'm doing the same thing over and over. It's like a gym membership. People go and they lean against the smoothie bar. They as long as they're paying you monthly, what do you want people leaning against the machines? This is a Wayne Dyer moment. Change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. Because if they're asking you, I can promise you there's people across the country in a similar position who don't have a Gigi to ask. What if all of a sudden they found a Gigi to ask online? Something to think about. Well, I don't want to work in that field. I get it. But there's some place that somebody needs to be asking you, right? You're asking me about philosophy and Ready for the Love. I don't market for that, but that's kind of what I'm known for. So you found somebody online, me, to help you with that. We just happen to know each other for the last 6 years. But somebody needs to find, somebody's hoping for a Gigi someplace that they could ask her a question, and they're willing to pay for the answer. So make a decision. How much do you want in the next 12 months? And then what talent, skill, or resource do you need to learn to get there? And then begin today. Put the plan in motion. Write it out in detail. I don't want to do that. Okay, let me know how that works. I want the answer to be easier. Okay. You're easily lovable. Let more people love you.
That's the easier answer.
I mean, that's the result. Right? Put yourself out there, give people a resume to go watch. And I have, when people go, oh, can I find you on YouTube? Sure. There's about 5,000 hours of me on YouTube. Sure. Go ahead. Oh my gosh, really? Why don't more people know about you? Because I'm the best kept secret. Kind of choose it to be that way. I don't know. Maybe I'll grow up when I turn 61. Maybe. I doubt it, but maybe. So what's your next step?
So to ask myself the question.
What's that?
To ask myself those questions.
Yeah. So your next step is to start figuring it out to what is, again, Napoleon Hill's definite major purpose is start with a number. Start with a number, start with a dollar figure. Next 12 months, start with a dollar figure. Most people, well, I want to help people. You don't get paid to help people. Mother Teresa took a vow of poverty and had 7 jets lit up on fire any place she landed in the world. One of the richest people on the planet, and took a vow of poverty. If you want to help people, you better figure out how to wear a habit and take a vow of poverty. That's what's going to move people. Other than that, you got to figure out a dollar figure. Most people are afraid to figure out a dollar figure. And the dollar figure isn't enough to get them excited, because the dollar figure that they would use to get them excited is way beyond where they're currently at. And it's like, I don't know how to do that. I've never done that before. Well, you've never done Tuesday, whatever today is, Friday the 14th. You've never done this day. This is a day that's never existed. How the hell did you wake up this morning not petrified? Well, because it's going to be pretty much like yesterday. That's why you can't make a 6-figure income, because you're basing it on what you did. If you got, all of you have the skills and talents to double your income. I don't care what your income level's at. Triple it, maybe even, based upon the laws of leverage that your business models have. You could triple it. But why wouldn't you? Because then I got to do the work. I got to work on me. That's the hardest work you'll ever do, is working on you. I've been blessed that for 50 years I've been working on me. I don't recommend taking that long. I don't. I'd do it sooner. Or I'd use somebody who understands your psychology, your physiology, your creative way of thinking, how you activate the creative source, and find somebody who understands how you activate the creative source so that you can activate more of it. Don't activate it the way you can't activate the creative source the way I activate it. You can't activate the God source the way I activate it. You got to activate it the way you activate it. And the reason it's so hard for us to see it is because it's as close as our skin. It's right there in front of us. So you got a great time. Are you off on the weekends?
Yes.
Then you got a great next 48 hours to just absolutely nail your plan. Well, I love the way it zoomed in on me. Dun, dun, dun. And if you got questions, text me, reach out.
You should start with $1.
Yeah, well, you got to figure out a dollar figure. Honor before December 20th, 2026. I now have how much? 100,000, 150,000, $162,785.42, 282,000. And then the thing I would ask you is, does your business model afford you a way to do that? Is there a business model that will pay you $200,000 if you learned how to leverage it? We haven't talked about your passion, your desire, what you're going to do. Is the business model capable of paying you whatever amount? $1 million, $500,000, $100,000. So if you're going to do YouTube, could YouTube pay you $100,000? Hell yeah. Okay. So now let's go figure it out. What do you have to do to get them to pay you? Well, I got to do this, 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 and this. Great. What skills, talents, and resources do you need to be able to do this, this, and this? Well, I need that. How often do you need to sharpen the saw in those talents? Daily. What does that look like?
I was like, you're going too fast, but I can watch this back.
Yeah, but it's just reverse engineering. Start with a dollar figure. Start with the functionality of how they would pay you to get to that, right? Any network marketing business. I want to make 100 grand. Great. How do you make it? Well, I got to talk to people. No, that's not what I asked. How are they going to send you $100,000 check? Well, I got to be at this rank. Awesome. That rank requires what? Well, it requires this, this, and this. Great. What talent or skill or resource do you need to be good enough to get people to that, and that? Well, I need to do this. I need to do that. I need to do this. It always comes down to us and discipline, us and desire. You're stepping into the unknown. The most uncomfortable thing you're going to do is do the uncertain thing. And it's very tough for women because women can be vicious. And your circle of friends, right? Who's kind of been jealous of your long hair? Anyone talk about how beautiful your long hair is and they don't have long hair? The money it costs to have that hair?
Not anybody in my friend circle.
Yeah, you'd be surprised.
Not that I know of, I guess.
Exactly. So all that to be said is that takes some time. How long did it take to have that?
Well, they're extensions, so it's like
I know, but how long did it take to have them put in?
Regularly 4 hours.
Yeah. Who's got 4 hours to do that? So I can tell you, especially if you're talking about the older demographic, they may have some hair work done, but they're not looking to stand out like you are. Your hair says, hey, look at me. Hey, look at me. The challenge is when people look at you, you're like, don't look at me.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's a definite sign of an introvert. It's kind of like the extensions are the equivalent of tattoos. And if they got a lot of tattoos, ink, they want to be seen, but God, don't talk to me. They're so intimidating that nobody even wants to talk to them. So it's the perfect thing for introverts is to have tattoos. Oh my God, look at that. Don't look at that. Look at that. Look, don't look at that. Look at that. Don't look at them. All right. I see people with a bunch of ink. I go, dude, those are phenomenal. What's your most favorite one? And usually the most favorite one is one hidden somewhere. It's on my butt cheek. Well, please don't show me that. So yeah, you got to go fall in love with you. Who do you become? Who do you become at that income level?
Make it sound silly.
What's that? The universe doesn't have any problem sending you $1 million. It ain't nothing. Right? It's not. Elon Musk just negotiated $1 trillion income. $1 trillion. If he can hit his benchmarks, if he can provide the value. The board approved his $1 trillion deal. $1 trillion. I can't even imagine it. $1 million is, if you counted it to get to 1 million every second from now, it would take you, I don't know, 5 days, 24 hours a day, counting every second. To go to $1 trillion, to go to $1 billion, just million to billion, it'd go from 7 days to 31 years. I can't even fathom $1 trillion. But to count every second to go from 1 to 1 million take you like 7 days. Something like that. Crazy number. To go to 1 billion, 31 years. So we throw these numbers around. We hear these numbers all the time. You got to decide what's a dollar figure that's going to excite you, and then who are you going to become on the way to it? That's it. Period. End of story. And then you got to ask, do I have the discipline to do it? If I don't, then I need to pay somebody to do it. And it should be, if it was as much as the income you were about to earn, and at the end of that year, you got the skills and talents to go do that again year after year after year, you're looking at $1 million decision, a $10 million decision. Right? If it's going to, over the course of the next 5 years, 10 years, give you $1 million and you're going to be around for 30, 40 more years, that's a $4 million decision you're making today. What would you spend to make $4 million to have this talent and skills to be able to get to that number? Because once you learn the skills, they don't go away. That's the neat thing about education. It doesn't go away. You can choose not to use it, but it doesn't go away. So you got to make a decision. And I guess you got kicked off. Maybe. I don't see her on the frames. Hey, Bob Kane, Mr. Bob Kane, horseman.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Hey, how are you?
Outstanding, sir.
So, two things.
Yep.
Number one, thank you. Last week we were talking, and I was sharing about fear,
Mhm.
and my friend recommended focusing on faith,
Yep.
and that was very wise. Trying to beat fear wasn't working, but I have found that as I have focused on building more faith in my life, the fear just is going away. It's just disappearing. So
Funny how that works. Don't tell
that's
anybody.
wonderful. So
Don't
thank
tell
you.
anybody.
No, heaven forbid, no. The other thing is, as I strive to really get my butt in gear and make the difference that I want to make, we've all been encouraged to find our dot or find our niche, or however you want to say it. And as I was contemplating, probably my favorite role that I've ever had in life was grandfather. And so that came to me, and then being activated and living longer and being healthier and all that. So the concept of, activated grandparents, or grandparents who want to activate their second half, rolled into this old head of mine. So your thoughts on, is that tight enough or is that too big?
Well, it's definitely narrowed down the niche. I would talk about grandfathers.
Okay.
Listen, we're the patriarchs. We're the ones that need to show up. We need to be able to get out there and throw the football. We need to be able to get out there and catch the baseball and run the bases, and not worry about going, whether we go to their football or soccer match and they got a stadiums and we can't walk up the steps.
Yeah.
So I would activate it to not just grandparents, because you're not a grandmother, right?
Okay.
This is about
That
dads
knocks,
over
that knocks it in
60.
half.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dads over 60. And listen, grandmoms can get the benefit too, but I'm speaking to granddads.
Okay.
And you got to make a decision. You raise this family, and you're still the patriarch, and you got to take your place. You can't sit in the back. Being a grandparent doesn't mean you sit in the back and you humble up, you hobble up to Christmas dinner or Thanksgiving dinner. You got to you got to continue the example.
Yeah.
Right? You got to own it, and you can't go pussyfooting around it.
Agreed.
Right?
Agreed.
With a horse, you can be calm, you can be quiet, but you can't be timid if you're going to go put a horse in its place.
Yeah.
Don't have to be mean, but
right.
Listen, there's certain rules you got to follow. And so, being a granddad, here's the rules you got to follow. If you can't do 5 push-ups, you got problems.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I would start speaking of that, because a granddad, they wind up taking back seat.
Yeah.
You don't need to be in the back seat. You raised this family. You should still be driving it.
Well, that narrowed it 50%. So
There you go.
awesome.
And listen, one of the things is that most, did you have your granddad around to ask him questions?
One of them,
Yeah. Well, and so why didn't the other one hang around?
he passed very early.
Yeah, because of health or because of occupation?
Yeah, he died from cancer.
Yeah, well, then listen, our grandkids need us today. Do you
Yeah.
want to leave your grandkids to social media today? Right? These are the things
No.
you talk about.
Yeah.
I'm blessed that my kids come out and they got to shovel shit. Right? I don't want them to, but they want to. They'll go pick up horse apples and road apples and do all those things. But they got to be taught the fundamentals of life. Social media doesn't teach the fundamentals of life. You're going to let your kids, you need to be around another extra dozen years. Better get your health priority in place. You got to have that conversation.
Love it.
And you can have that.
Yeah. Yeah. Easy. That's because that's what I'm living.
That's right.
That's what I'm living.
You don't have to go learn any of this.
No.
But what you do need to learn is you need to be able to be with love and force and love and care to speak to it in such a way that I really don't give a rat's ass if you don't do it. But if you do want to do it, I'm your guy. Somebody wants you to load the trail. Mr. Kane, we can't load Philly. Not a problem. Step back and watch. How do you do that? Very well. Why do you ask? Right.
Yeah.
And so that's what you need to do. You need to, I love your videos, but I would start to learn to do voiceovers.
What's
and
that?
What I mean by that is set your video up when you're shoveling the muck in the stalls or riding the horse. And then just put a caption. Hey, listen, here's what I'm doing at 70. How old are you, Bob?
71.
71. Here's at 71. Who wants to have a clean out the stall race and do the video on time lapse? One of the most viewed videos I had, I don't know if it was, I think it was last year, was a time lapse of me emptying off a trailer of manure. It was a time lapse. It was 45 seconds.
Wow.
About 2 hours it took to do it. All the brakes and everything, standing there, but unloading a 3 bucket loads on my trailer. I got a little 6x10 trailer, 3 bucket loads, full bucket loads of manure. Took me 2 hours to unload it. I love it. But somebody's like, weren't you tired? Of what? Well, what are you using the manure for? To make dirt. What? Yeah, I mix manure and leaves. I got enough trees for leaves. I'm picking up leaves now. I love it. I spend 2 or 3 hours a day blowing leaves. And it doesn't even look like the leaves have fallen off the trees yet. And I got a pile 8 foot high.
I believe it. I believe it.
So yeah, talk to granddads, kick them in the ass, talk to them like you would be talked to.
Love it.
So what are you waiting for? What are you waiting to die to get healthy? That's not going to make sense.
Yeah.
Your grandkids need you. You're going to let social media raise your grandkids?
You know, I was feeling so good. I felt like I was just, my health and everything was as good as it could possibly get. And then it got better.
Yeah, no granddad is going to go, no, I'm healthy enough. They're going to say, I'm healthy.
Yeah.
Isn't it time for you to be able to get out there and play with your grandkids? If your granddaughter wanted you to sit down for tea, could you sit down in the chair for tea? Hell no, you couldn't sit on the floor. Right? She wants you to do horsey. She wants to ride on your back. You remember when your kids rode on your back as a horse?
Oh, yeah, my grandkid wants me to do that every day.
Yeah, and so I would take a video of that. And again, being proactively careful, take a picture of it as you are horsing away from the camera so that the kid's face isn't on it. But say, listen, this is what I do every day. How many of you could give your grandkid a horseback ride?
Yeah, too many can't.
Yeah. So say, hey, listen, you need to get active. You need to take this and this. I've got the 2 products that'll help you be able to get down on the floor and put your grandkid on your back without your back hurting, your knees hurting, your hips hurting, or you complaining to your wife about, oh my God, I gave the kid a horseback ride. Right? I mean,
Yeah, no, 100%. You're
right?
absolutely correct. Yeah.
So go show it off. Go show off, granddad. And
I'm
this is,
blessed. We got to share the blessing.
are you ready for the love?
There you go. And I am.
Do it, don't do it. I'm okay. Here's the good news. I'm going to get down and give my grandkid a horseback ride when they come over today.
Yep.
Yep.
There we go. Thank you for helping me narrow that down.
You're welcome, brother. And
Enjoy your
grandmoms
day.
can do it too. Listen.
Yeah.
But the point is that go talk to your niche.
Yeah. That's what I've always tended to make that broader than it should be.
Niches in the rich.
Yeah. And I've heard that more times than I could count.
Yep. So
Awesome.
when you do that, you're talking to granddads.
Yeah.
Dads can use it.
Yeah.
Moms can use it. I'm talking to granddad. Well, could I use it? Yes, of course you could.
Awesome.
I'm talking to granddads because I raised my kids. I'm talking to granddads who don't want to miss out on their grandkids' next birthday.
There you go. Yeah, I lost my dad and the one grandfather and the one grandmother very early 60s.
Yep.
And that's a lot of life to lose.
There you go.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love you, brother.
Love you,
Enjoy
brother.
your day.
Enjoy Rocky Top.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. There's some ideas, some thoughts, some concepts. Yeah. If the more you can niche it down, like Jane said, I love that Jane said, I'm talking to pharmacists. Awesome. Figure out what it is to make them happy. Figure out what it is. What is your niche? And when you figure out what your niche is, you'll have some more fun. You'll be able to speak more directly to it. You'll be able to speak more authentically to it. Right? So there you go. I'm your head brain training, brain scrambling. Get down and give your grandkid a ponyback ride. Misfit, I'll see y'all where?
The next event.
At the next event. Somebody give me some Costa Ricas.
Pura vida.
Pura vida. We love you, Mark. And some Lydias.
Peace be with us.
Be with
Peace
us.
be with us all. And the queen of helping you have fun horseback rides, Jessie Lee Ward.
Awesome.
Bosley. And a little white fluffy.
Gurgly.
Love you tons. All right, everybody, go have some fun. No call tomorrow. We'll see you back on Monday. Y'all take care. Thanks, everybody. Bye for now.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you. Love you.
Love you all.